What's up, my dudes? So I'm going to be talking about the possibility of a water update for No Man's Sky. I know a lot of people have sort of suspected that they might have an update like this in the future, dedicate an entire update to it. And I think it's got quite a bit of pull to it. It's got quite a bit of traction. That's a pretty good possibility, I feel like, for this game. So, mainly what I'm talking about here is like pretty much just making it to where it's all about underwater exploration. And even further than that, I know a lot of people kind of suspect it's, they might have an underwater sort of update and stuff, but not just underwater. I think a water update in general could be definitely a possibility. They could add waterfalls to the game, they could add rivers to the game on top of making the underwater exploration way more cool than it is currently. Like add water planets that are just completely water, there's no islands on them whatsoever, and give us a system to somehow land our ship on that. I don't know how the shit they're going to do that, but things like that they could put in there, I think would be very, very cool to the game. And I just feel like there's so many core aspects to the game that if they dedicated an update to it, it would help the game's variation so much. Like if they dedicated an update just to underwater stuff, oh dude. Like, I mean, goodness gracious, like have way more planets that have rivers on them, actual flowing rivers in the game, and have waterfalls on tropical planets and cool stuff like that, and completely advance and update their underwater creatures in the game and their underwater plant models and stuff like that, and have it to where the oceans can be way deeper than they can be currently, and give you a way to be able to breathe under the water, like be able to super upgrade your suit to where you can really breathe under the water for a long period of time and stuff like that. And possibly have they don't actually have an underwater vehicle unless I'm totally missing that here. They don't have an underwater vehicle. They have an on top of water vehicle, but not actually, submarine style. So that would be cool for just more extensive underwater exploration, and even possibly adding underwater almost like dungeon type things, or underwater super big exploring areas, like bigger, kind of like maybe a monolith, but it's underwater, but you can go through it like it's this really big dungeon type of thing, and have really cool rewards and stuff like that in those sort of things, but really make it to where you can have gigantic underwater swimming alien creatures like the abyss and stuff like that. You can go super deep down in an ocean and just find this big alien colony down there that you never expected to be in the game at all. That would just add so much to it, dude. And have it to where like some of the underwater creatures can actually come out of the water from under the water, really add like bigger shark type creatures, and make it to where it's not so much this, you guys know how the creatures are right now, where you like come across packs of them like this. You'll come across like 5 or 6 of the creatures in one little, I guess, school, you could call it, or you'll come across like one predatorial creature, like 1 or 2 predatorial. It'll be like a somewhat of a whale shark looking creature swimming through the water. I think it'd be cool if they made it to where it's not as strict as that. Like you could have, let's just say that whole ocean floor right there could just be covered with a certain kind of fish or something. There could be like 30 of those fish just like swimming all around the bottom of the water there. Have like bottom feeder type creatures, and then have where you look over in the distance and it's just an absolute gigantic lagoon style monster swimming towards you. Some kind of, I'm picturing like the dinosauric big underwater type dinosaur creatures that are in the fairy tales. That'd be so cool to see in the game, stuff like that. And just have it to where there's just more underwater smaller creatures. You know how in real life underwater a lot of times you've got fish swimming about and things like that. If you guys remember how it looked in some of the early day trailers of the game, where they would show like the fish and the shark kind of thing. You'd have like little bitty fish swimming through the water, and then you'd have kind of the sharks going through some of the underwater caves and stuff. If they get it more towards that, I think it'll really help the game, and have like maybe underwater volcanoes or really big underwater coral reef type stuff, not have just this pretty repetitive kind of thing that they have right now, kind of change that up a little bit, make it to where, I don't know, have it to where it's like underwater, super deep underwater cave systems under a island system, or I don't even really know how to explain that to you, but, stuff like that would be cool. Have like really tall kelp, grass kind of, or plant objects under the water where you can go into sort of a super deep kelp forest under the water. I think that would really help the game a lot there. Just certain stuff like that I feel like would really be cool. Somewhat similar to the game. Let me think. What the hell is the name of that game? I don't know. It's all about underwater exploration. I'm probably completely sounding like an idiot right now, but, whatever's cool. Damn, what's the name of that game? I played it for a little while. Subnautica. There we go. That's the game. You guys know how that's not a procedurally generated game, but it is a underwater exploration game. Basically, make some of these underwater experiences on these planets more like how Subnautica is, where you like go through almost different biomes within the underwater environments and things like that. And like I'm saying, if they added rivers and waterfalls, just simply rivers, moving water with rivers and waterfalls, oh my goodness, the on-land exploration would be coup points boosted by 50. Like, I'm telling you, man, it would be awesome to have that in the game. That's one of the critical biome sort of things that I feel like is totally missing in the game, is rivers and waterfalls. You can find ponds, you can find lakes, you can find oceans, but there's no rivers and no waterfalls. It might be a little tricky to make waterfalls and make flowing rivers, because now you've actually got moving water. It's not just the standard water pond, standard water model like that. And even have possibly like certain areas where the water sort of goes into like a vortex or something, just little things like that that could add with water, and possibly have an actual boat in the game instead of the thing that, you can go across the water in. Possibly make it to where you can, I don't know, mount up on water creatures. That would be cool. See something like that. But yeah, man, so that's about all the ideas I've had for underwater stuff. I mean, I think the underwater exploration is pretty fun as it is. It's one of the more fun things to do, is to be on an actual tropical style planet and go under the water. It feels like a totally different experience than the on land exploration, but I feel like it could definitely use some work. This planet right here is pretty cool. Wow. Feel like it could definitely use a little bit of work here and there on some stuff. Expand more color ranges for the water, make it to where you can actually have waves on the water. Some water's like really calm, some water's got really big waves that crash up against the sides of terrain, and maybe make it to where it's like a true beach feeling on certain planets. No, they're trying to do that with the sand decal, but it still lacks a little bit here and there. Whoa, we're like right up here on the level of these little flying dudes. And then potentially add to where you've got actual murky levels of water, so you can hop down in water that looks like dirty piranha water, where you've got like alligators and piranha creatures down there. And oh, look at that. Whoa, them are some cool dudes. Wow, look at that. He's just kind of hovering there. Oh, that is cool. What kind of creature? It almost looks like Flygon or something. Oh, man. But yeah, have it to where it's like murky levels of water, where it's really spooky when you go down the water. You can't see super far in front of you. That would really help the exploration. I just picture like having super, super deep oceans and having like a submarine type vehicle in the game and going so deep down in the water, and it's like totally pitch black under the water, and you have to use a light on your submarine to see anything, and you've got like these really big angler type fish creatures just pop out of nowhere, and you got to watch out for those. And then you have the potential to come across a a creature that's literally like the size of this entire screen ocean that you're seeing right here, you know, have one that's that big, like it feels like it could swallow 100 of you at once, have that potential of that just popping out of nowhere under a super dark ocean. Oh my goodness, man, the ideas, it's just like, come on, Hello Games, the game is made so perfect for that. You know, it's like the exploration aspects of the game and just the way the randomness of every single planet you go to is, that just fits so good for that. You know, it just like, it seems as if that would be such a awesome element to the game. So either way, maybe we'll get an underwater update. Maybe it'll just be this kind of updated stuff underwater, and then they update this underwater over time. Not really sure, but hopefully, you know, we'll see some more underwater 11 for the game. I think it's a pretty big element to the game, especially since the fact that the tropical biome is probably one of the biggest biome variations that they have in the game. So either way, let me know in the comments what you guys think on an underwater update, and I'll definitely check that out. So appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.